Do you ever feel like no matter how much you get done, there's always something more to do? And do you ever ask, why can't I get through the to-do list? And why am I so overwhelmed? Well, you're not alone. We all have it. There's always going to be another email. There's always going to be another adulting responsibility, another decision, and another expectation, and more things pulling at your attention. That's the yin and yang of life, right? That's what makes life so adventurous, that there's always be something else, but it's what makes it so overwhelming. And we tell ourselves sometimes, if I could just get caught up, if I could just get organized, maybe things will be better and I'll be less overwhelmed. Sometimes the overwhelm isn't actually getting caused by having too much to do. Sometimes it's because you've lost sight of what truly deserves your energy. Because there's a big difference between having a lot to do and carrying a lot that doesn't belong to you. And I've learned this lesson in life, and it's a hard one to swallow. I'm Laura Clark, Purpose and Vision Alchemist, helping purpose driven women who want to be on a personal growth journey and strive to be the best self leader, can strengthen their own self trust, their own self worth by reconnecting to their wisdom and creating a life that feels more aligned, meaningful, and fulfilling. And this is another Mug Musing. These are spaces where we can stop just for a moment and see something a little bit different. So wisdom isn't just learned, it's lived. I'm choosing the I love you to the late cup because sometimes when we are overwhelmed, it's just a matter of connecting to the person that you love to the lake, which is my special place, and back, because that gives you the support you need. But here's the shift in the lens I want you to start thinking about. Most people think overwhelm is a time management. If I just manage my time better, things will be fine. But really, overwhelm is another alignment problem. There are seasons when life generally asks more of us. I've lived through them. There are moments when responsibilities pile up, situations we don't choose come to us. But even then, something interesting is exposed. Two people can have very similar schedules inside of this, and one will feel completely energized and the other completely depleted. Because overwhelm isn't always determined by how much there is to do, but by how much you're carrying and by what you're carrying that doesn't belong to you. So here's some things to go along with. Not everyone deserves your energy. One of the most liberating things I've learned in this life is just because someone wants your attention doesn't mean they deserve it. Let me repeat. Just because something or someone wants your attention doesn't mean it deserves it. And that is a whole lot of, oh, you're selfish, guilt and shame inside. The world is full of this. Expectations, opinions, opportunities, obligations, people who want you to do things, but only if you will do them their way with their end result. When we don't pause long enough to discern the difference, it's actually more selfish of yourself to answer their call and give them your energy, because everything starts to feel urgent. If we're not careful, we begin to respond to all of it as if they're equally important, to the point where we deplete ourselves, change who we are for that thing or that person, and we completely out of alignment. And everything starts to feel heavy and overwhelming. We suffer at the weight of carrying what doesn't belong to us. Have there ever been any times in your life when you felt overwhelming? Were you in a new job, getting married, having a baby, going through a divorce, maybe being a caregiver? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm sure everybody has been in that time of overwhelm. part of that were you carrying that didn't belong to you? Remember, overwhelm signals you're drifting away from who you are. Think about a boat, right? It's drifting slightly off course, but the difference may not seem significant at first. It's just a little drift. But over time, drift might not get you to the next port. It might take you completely out to sea. And that's a very different destination, right? Overwhelm works this way. Doesn't come to us overnight. It's just a little bit at a time. One commitment, one obligation, one people-pleasing moment after another. That's not a hell yes to you. And we find ourselves carrying obligations and responsibilities that don't fit, that aren't ours to shoulder. And we wonder why we are exhausted. Not coming from doing too much, it's coming from carrying things that no longer are aligned with who you are and where you want to go. Remember, this Mug Musing is about looking at something a little differently, taking on a perspective a little bit differently. You can take what fits and leave the rest behind. But if you subscribe now, you'll be notified of when another Mug Musing comes and an opportunity to open your mind will get dropped. So people often tell me what they need is more time for this, right? And while that sounds wonderful, I need more time to meet the obligations other people want. I need more time to take care of the to-do list. But there's always going to be something else on your to-do list, and there's always going to be somebody else who pulls at you. What you need is clarity. Clarity changes everything. When you're clear about who you are and your priorities, decisions become so much easier. When you're clear about your values, boundaries become easier. And when you're clear about what matters most, you create those boundaries, and saying no is simple. Just comes right off your tongue. This is when something fascinating begins to happen. Life doesn't necessarily become less busy. It becomes less noisy. And there's a difference, a significant difference, because this noise creates the overwhelm, right? Create pressure, create not wanting to be in the space and time and presence of who you are. That's overwhelm. The clarity on who you are and what matters most actually creates great space and more peace in your life. Let's be honest. I've certainly had seasons where I felt overwhelmed in my life, many of them. But when I look back, the issue hasn't really been my calendar or the to-do list. It often was the deeper issue that I had lost my connection to what mattered most in my life. I was responding to everything else, trying to support everyone, trying to be the good girl, trying to solve it for other people, trying to do what they wanted me to do. What truth I know now is that every yes costs energy. Every commitment requires attention. And every responsibility occupies space. And in those times, I wasn't choosing where my energy went. And so I became depleted. If I'm not intentionally choosing where my energy goes, other people choose it for me. And that's not freedom. It's actually a life sentence of not being you. And that realization changed a lot because it shifted this one basic question for me from how do I get more done to what deserves my energy. So here's your reflection, a little bit of a soul play activity for you. Take a piece of paper, draw 2 columns. In the first column, write down, what am I carrying? and write down all of your responsibilities. And in the second column, write down, is this mine to keep? Yes. And go through it. It's a simple exercise that's going to reveal something very important. What needs releasing in your life that may even be liberating? Because sometimes this path out of overwhelm isn't about adding more or becoming more efficient with your time. Most often, it's about removing what was never yours to carry in the first place. And perhaps that's what overwhelm is telling all of us, that we're not failing, that we're not incapable, that we aren't falling behind, but that we're actually worthy and something needs realignment, that our energy is being scattered because our priorities need revisiting, who we are and our own self-worth needs evaluation, and that our attention has drifted away from. And if we're willing to listen, overwhelm can be a really wonderful one that guides us back to who we are. So I have a tool in the description below that helps with some realignment. So capture it for yourself. Take what resonates, leave less behind, because wisdom isn't meant to be learned, it's meant to be taken, applied, and lived. And until next time, always keep smiling, keep reflecting, mug on.